All right, here we are. Another month, another update day. This time is actually kind of a really important one because it is 413 today of 2025, and we have a nice little 413 update to go with this nationally recognized, super important holiday. um, so we have an update going from page 757 to 773. So, you know, we've got about 15 pages in there or so. I don't know what to expect because obviously we've just finished Act 1. Lots of stuff just got wrapped up and lots of stuff got teased. And last time in the news post, the team specifically mentioned that they were going to do sort of an intermission before they actually jumped into Act 2. Now, what that actually means is anyone's guess because I don't know what an intermission could consist of at this point. If it's going to be coming back to something we've already been introduced to, but just haven't explored much recently, or if it's going to be something entirely new. And if it is something new, here's hoping for some Deltriton species news, maybe. That would be cool. But let's just hop into it, see what's in store for us. So the page that leads us to it is called Addendum 1 Meat, which is a really weird page title. That is meat. Carcat.
Meat. Again. I'm fucking sick of all this meat. I'd be happy if I never had to look at any meat again. Man, it'd sure be amazing and normal if a certain skeletal reptilian stalker would emerge from the smelly vents and have a discussion with me that wasn't spelled out in tactical deposits of flesh.
This is actually the meat ship that we saw last time Callie was hiding in the vents. Oh, it's dark. Startled by Carcat's astounding observational ability, the young cherub prepares to beat a hasty retreat. Startled by Carcat's astounding observational ability, the young cherub prepares to beat a hasty retreat. Oh fuck. Also, oh my god, Carcat? You have a little cardigan on? Oh fuck. And Callie has a little like sweater vest. Oh my goodness. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh wait, is this a cardigan or is this like a... Does he have like a flannel or something? I don't know. I'm liking these designs though. Moments later, but not many. I'm sorry again about your head. And, also about the meat. I probably shouldn't have been carrying that much at once.
It was a lot. But now that you've got it all out of your Silodex, instead of leaving ominous, inscrutable stake warnings for me, we could maybe have a normal people talk about what it is you want?
Well, they weren't supposed to come off as warnings. I even left them extra bloody for you.
Yeah, they were definitely super bloody.
You seemed in need of a bit of extra sustenance. A little more protein would fill you out nicely, I think.
Gross.
I think a lot of people disagree. But as to why I've been lingering, well, it's somewhat embarrassing, but...
More embarrassing than crawling around overhead like a paw beast, leaving raw rump cuts in my load gaper in the hopes that I'll eat them and get huge.
We'll just have to chalk that up to a cultural disagreement. At any rate, I'm trying to be vulnerable here. I know I probably should have just approached you earlier, but this is disclosure of exceeding delicacy, and I worry that maybe you wouldn't take it the right way if we hadn't already established such great rapport. But asking you to our room would have expedited the process, I suppose.
No.
No?
Listen, it's very flattering, if out of left field, considering that we never fucking talk to each other, that you're attracted enough to me that to keep caramel tokens of your affection on my doorstep and in my respite block and in my gaper and my bed and sometimes in my laundry and also, weirdly enough, never in the kitchen. I super appreciate you gathering up the courage to do all this. That said, no, I'm already up to my cartilage nub in previously established romantic involvement. All booked up. Also, would Roxy even be okay with that considering I'm seeing his human son? I know incest is a fake human idea, but Dave really seems to care about it for some reason. Like, really seems to care about it. Is he the only one? Honestly, putting aside the fact that we both already got our own shit going on, your vent stink, the fake incest thing, and your scary head, it just wouldn't really work out between us. To put it bluntly, you couldn't handle me. I'm fucking crazy. My raging maelstrom of neuroses would tear that perfectly polite, bland personality of yours right off its hinges. Okay, I know I'm coming across like a next level douche here, but trust me, I'm doing you a favor by preemptively squashing any false hope of this travesty before it fucking ruins you. Also, I barely know you.
You thought, oh, oh, Carcat, this is very embarrassing. No, that's not what I meant at all.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, that's not what you meant. Wow. This is embarrassing. Okay. Wait, but then what do you want?
I suppose I was wondering if you'd, mind reviewing this. Oh my god. Wait, what? A trickster lollipop, which makes me think of the candy timeline. Hours in the future. So many.
It ends here? What happens after Vriska enters the point? What the fuck?
What is happening? Well, I don't actually know. The visions used to come so easily, but for whatever reason, past this point, I keep drawing blanks. Feels like the old well dried up, and I thought to myself, well, who better to approach for advice than a true connoisseur of narrative arts? Right. Because I remember, yeah, Calliope also, in the original, talked to the Alpha Kids about, like, what was going to happen and kind of knew the story of Homestuck. Right. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you appreciate that. I definitely have a lot of critiques, if that's what you're asking for.
Well, I'm open to hearing them. Truth be told, I don't really plan on changing anything that I've already written, but it's just nice to have someone else put eyes on this for a change. So, what did you think of it?
Phew. Okay, where do I start? The formatting, for one. Are you still doing chapters? It feels like the last chapter just keeps going. Not to mention all the chapters you straight up skipped.
I'm actually pretty sure that I'm going to abandon the chapter format. I think of everything past the point of Dave's hypothesis.
His Obama-inspired suicide?
Well, that's the reductive way of putting it, but yes, that's... Everything past that point seems to me to work as the first act of a follow-up saga. Which I only really realized a good way into the undertaking. But I was hoping more for notes on content.
Well, you definitely took our friend group in an interesting direction, even if you skipped huge chunks of context. It's horrifying and depressing and kind of sadistic. You've got your wrigglers and big and mid-scope towering over our shady little nest, burning us all alive as you watch perversely. But also, it demonstrates a weirdly apt understanding of the shit a lot of us have got going on, which is odd because I feel like almost nobody ever actually talks to you. My biggest critique is that if anyone beside us read this, they wouldn't know what the fuck is going on. Was that your intention?
What is this? What am I looking at here? Roxy. Oh, Rose. Can I? This is the end of Act 1. Vriska, yeah. This undertaking was really more about intuition than intention. Mostly I've been writing to decipher what I was seeing for myself.
Hmm?
Not to say it wasn't a blast, this rare opportunity for self-indulgence, to infer and embellish so much heart-rending longing, could barely contain myself. Does that count as an intention? Having a good time?
I am not the troll to ask that. Other notes. Your tone is all over the place here, and you've completely ignored your setting. That I can let slide, though, since technically John seems to be your main POV character here, and, yeah, you're right, there's no way he'd give a flying fuck about any of that to pay an ounce of attention to it. Also, I did like how you handled the sex scenes. You locked in on some classic noxious black rom tropes that were all the rage on Laternia, and then unfortunately swept under the rug by Earthsea's ideologically whitewashed post-caste society. Nasty shit without the cultural context, but critical thread in the grand tapestry of love and hate. They all made me want to kill myself, and I respect that.
Well, that's nice to hear. I suppose. I can't in good conscience act like I was trying to say anything. My focus gravitated more towards those specific dynamics, probably because they felt most comfortable, culturally speaking. Anyway, this isn't what I was hoping to talk about either.
Oh, is my grilling rubbing you the wrong way? Is my grilling rubbing you the wrong way? This is nothing. You should see the haranguing I put Dave's scripts through, and he has a way more sophisticated and nuanced voice than you, sorry to say.
Well, you really didn't have to say that, but moving past it, I guess I was just hoping that your unique perspective as both a knight of blood and a well-liked scholar of kinship could grant me some insight on how this all wraps up.
Wait, you don't know where this is going? You didn't think of an ending before sitting down to do all this?
At first, I assumed Dave's escape was the ending, which I thought was lovely, but then things just kept happening and happening. This is so hard to explain. It's all spiraled out of my hands. Kaka, what do I do?
I mean, you could call it quits.
No.
Whoa, settle down, Calliope. It's a fucking pet project.
Not to me, it's not.
Okay, but consider, stories need endings. Who wants to read this sad freak garbage forever?
I do. At the very least, I can't leave things stuck as they are. But if it has to end, I don't want it to feel
pointless.
Uh,
Yeah, I won't pretend I don't get it. You definitely have dug yourself into a giant hole to never-endingly bullshit into, but it would be sad to leave them like this.
Exactly. See, I knew you would get it. I haven't even shown Roxy because I was worried. But you seem understanding.
Yeah, good call. You should play this one close to your chest and basically not show it to anyone who isn't me, ever. Especially Jade.
So you're saying you want to keep reading it?
Obviously. Give yourself some credit. I could go on and on about all the ways this is one of the most rancorous tomes I've ever set my bulbs on, but I could never say there wasn't love in it. A weird love, but sincere. Honestly, it's got my pan buzzing.
See? This is exactly why I came to you.
Yeah, I get it. You little urchin. I'm hopeless. That said, not sure where to start with this either. It's all ended up kind of messy. I mean, I guess we could do some rewrites, but
retcons like that are a little amateurish, don't you think?
For sure.
Is Calliope just the newbie on Canon team trying to figure out what to do with Homestuck Squared? Is that what's happening right now? I don't know what this is, though. So it's like healthier Vriska. Just like the colors and patterns and whatever. I don't know what that is, though. Unless that's Deltritus. That might be Deltritus. Holy shit. And this is John's house in Cantown. This is John's house in Canton? That's gone. What is this? Rose and Rocks. Okay. That definitely does seem like hell tier. Oh. Hey, Jasper's Sprite. On Durst? Yeah, that's definitely hell tier risk. Oh my god, this is Deltritus, isn't it? Fucking Dirk Sunglasses Moon. Oh my god. Okay. Interesting choice, buddy. Oh, she's fucking with everything. I'm assuming when she's doing all this, she also has the Omega kids with her, right? But she's fucking everything up. Yeah. Jane. Meet Jane? Have we seen Meet Jane at all? Like this entire time? I don't think we have we? Are you all okay? That was some of the worst turbulence we've had yet. Sakes alive, sailors. The old girl came with railings for a reason, you know. Hop to.
Hop on my bald shithead.
Oh, why don't we take a break?
End of Addendum 1. What did Vriska just do? Okay. Well, that left me with way more questions than answers. that Callie and Karkat conversation obviously felt very much like the writers just kind of, projecting their worries about continuing this story. Yeah, some of the stuff in there kind of raises some interesting points, right? Like, because they were working on the original outline for a long time, including into this run a little bit, right? But I think they started going much more for just kind of writing from the ground up after a certain point. It says, what happens after Vriska enters the point? So, was that where the original outline ended, maybe? There's like a lot of stuff in here that I feel like maybe you could extrapolate, like stuff about the actual story being written, but I also don't know if that's just coincidence. They could just be jokes about, or not jokes necessarily, but like it could be using the story as an example, but not actually using like real world examples. But if it is using real world examples, yeah, there's a lot in here to sort of like a lot of food for thought for how the original outline was planned and like what the thought process was going into it, which is definitely interesting. Especially this part about like the undertaking was really more about intuition than intention. Like it feels like, and I don't want to like necessarily assign meaning here that isn't there, but it definitely feels like it's kind of criticizing what this was before the revival in a way that's saying like, well, it was kind of just like going at it to see, like, throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck, instead of actually having some kind of bigger plans for like what it would all mean or like what it would all be for. So I don't know. Can't in good conscience act like I was trying to say anything. You know, like, is that real? Is that like actually them kind of wearing their hearts on their sleeve a little bit? Or like, I don't know. Huh. Or is this not about the team at all? Is Calliope still a stand-in specifically for the fans? But they are the fans. The fans have become the writers of the story. So like, I don't know. I think I'll say the same thing that I said once or twice before, which is maybe at this point, before we have a more closed picture to look back at archivally, maybe it's a bit pointless to try and analyze exactly what all of this stuff is trying to say. But it's definitely interesting to think about. And then this, yeah, definitely does seem like it's Friska and the kids. I don't know what this is. Unless this is Meat Timeline. That's probably what this is. Because I was thinking like, oh, John's house is gone. But that's in the Candy Timeline. That did not happen in the Meat Timeline. So this, we're seeing stuff in on Meat Earth C. So he burnt, Vriska burned John's letters. And this? Where is this? It definitely looks like it's on Durst because it's all purple. That's like, where is it? I don't know. That looks like it looks like a Dursite, and like, you know, but like the session hasn't started yet. So could it actually be like, or is this the Deltritan? It's not the Deltritan moon because that's a moon. I don't know, actually. Maybe it is the Deltritan moon. Like maybe she's just on a different point on Deltritus, because now that I think about it, before when we were on Deltritus with Rose and Derek and Terezi, it was at the current time that we were at, whereas they were getting ready to do a huge time skip. So maybe after the time skip, after society and all that stuff has been built, maybe this is Deltritus that we're seeing. And this up here, this moon, is just this from a different angle. It's possible. Being that we go straight from this shot into this shot, I'm going to assume that's what it is. Maybe? I don't fucking know. Like I said, there are just way more questions than answers right now. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I don't even remember Jane like existing in the Meat timeline past a certain point in the uplogs. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we got such little information about her in any capacity. So I didn't even like know how she was going to be in the story again. Did we know that she was on this ship? Am I misremembering, or did we not ever see her actually join the crew on this ship? I don't know. Either way, I have a feeling I have a feeling Meet Jane is going to be the crew's chance to sort of apologize to Jane fans. That's my expectation. End of Addendum 1. Fucking strange. I'm so curious. I love that the act curtains are like orangey yellow now. It emphasizes the whole Dirk controlled narrative thing. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I sometimes I feel like I might sound stupid the way that I kind of just blurt stuff out. Just like, you know, guessing things and trying to analyze and whatever, but I'm reading this at the same time as everybody else, and I'm just trying to make sense of everything. So, very interesting. Now, here's the real question. When's the next update going to be? Because they did say that they were thinking about trying a different update structure. And specifically, they said something about, I don't remember the exact wording, but like something like more akin to like classic update structures. Meaning, are we going to be waiting another month? Or is it possible there's going to be a second update this month? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, I'm satisfied with this. I'm just so curious, like, where this is going. Cool. All right. Let's read the news post for April 2025. Of course, posted on 4/13.
Let's see what we got here.
Happy 4/13 for those of you that celebrate. Hi, James here. Another April 13th is upon us. Some of you might be checking in for the first time in a while since it's one of those special Homestuck days. If you don't know me, I'm mostly in charge of stuff here at Beyond Canon, the current arc of the Homestuck story. The current team and I started in the middle of the Homestuck Squared storyline after its long hiatus and were tasked with continuing and eventually completing it. The initial run was loosely based off of Andrew's original outline and the Homestuck epilogues. We are taking the story and characters in a slightly different direction while still hitting some of the key points laid out for us. I like that he gives this little TLDR for anybody who hasn't been keeping up. About 2 years ago, under Andrew's guidance, we formed the HICU and have been slowly handing out licenses to some fan work so they can monetize. I know they did it with a fast error, which is very fucking cool. Things have been cooking behind the scenes for a while, and something pretty cool is going to come out of it in the relatively near future. I don't want to overpromise, so I'll let that happen as it happens. James? James, what the fuck are you guys cooking back there? I'm not in charge of anything besides music over at HiveSwap, but I pop my head into the work chat every now and then, and things are coming along slowly but surely for Act 3. It's good to hear. I like hearing that things are continuing to happen over there. I feel like every month or so I hear like a team member or someone else kind of related to the project be like, yeah, it's still coming along. People are working on it. So like I like to hear that. What pumpkin projects are generally pretty small teams with day jobs, so these things take some time. Thanks for sticking with us. As a longtime Homestuck fan myself, I know how hard it is to wait for things. Today, Beyond Canon team has the pleasure of working with Honey and Butter. I saw some pictures from that and it looked fucking awesome. A delightful macaron bakery in Southern California that specializes in these sorts of pop-up event collaborations. A few of my friends have been to these and report that they're delicious. At the pop-up and for a limited time online, there will be some collab-themed official merchandise available. This event was planned, orchestrated, and executed basically in its entirety by our very own Floral Kim and Chumi, with some special guest art by the illustrious and talented Hone. They did a great job. some of you sleuths out there, I've gone into a little bit of a secret countdown that we'll be talking more about in the coming days. The next Makeshift plush drop. John and Vriska are coming up, and we'll have more news and previews closer to the launch. I hope you guys have a great anniversary, and I'm looking forward to many years to come. So Addendum 1, huh? Not intermission? Wonder what that means. Check out the update and sort it out for yourself. I'm out of here. What does that mean, James? Addendum. Huh. Why does that make it like you expect an addendum to be at the very, very, very end of something because it's like here's the thing, and then like, oh, addendum to this thing. So I guess that's just, I mean, I guess it's kind of just a little, it's like a mini epilogue, honestly. It's like anything we didn't get to do in the act itself, we'll just do here. I don't know. Weird naming convention, but okay. I'm assuming that's all it means. If it means something different and it's some kind of insane, like big brain, fucking long game play, then congratulations, because I did not get it. But I'm assuming it's just, yeah. I feel like I'm not talking a whole lot. I'm talking a lot, but I feel like I'm not saying much because I'm just going through everything that just happened in Act 1 and in Addendum 1 in my head. And I'm just like thinking about all of it, where it could be going, what's happening, what are the implications of all these different things that are going on. It's good. I'm a little jumbled up in terms of my actual speech, but it's for a good reason because I'm just raking over all of the different details of the story in my head and like trying to think about it, which is hard to do when you first read an update. Like I don't, people will read and then think about it and make like a little analysis post or whatever. But like reading on the spot and then trying to talk about it and like what it all means immediately after you just read it is actually really tough. Like it's tougher than you would expect. But it's fucking fun to do. So whatever.